And then you walk for a while. And when you're walking for a while, you find you know where you're going. Because the Prophet ﷺ said that you will know your place in Jannah like you know your house in this dunya. The same like you know your house in this dunya, the same you know where you live and you know where your house is, you will know where your place is in Jannah. So what are we expecting? 4-bedroom apartment? 3-bedroom apartment? A villa with a few gardens? La wallah. A palace whose bricks are made from gold and silver. A palace. And when I say a palace, you know, we are told that the least of the dominion of one of the people of Jannah is 2,000 years. I.e. 2,000 years to get from one side of your property to the other side of your property. The palace is made of gold and silver bricks. But what is waiting for you in the palace? You want to know what's inside. From the things that Allah Azza wa Jal told us, by the way, beside this palace there is a tent. But this tent, it is made out of the shell, like the shell of a pearl. You know when you get a pearl in a shell and you crack the shell open and you have like the shell. This is how the tent is described. And it's described as being 60 miles long. This tent that is huge, this huge tent. And what is in this palace and in this tent? And this brings us to the beginning of the poem of Ibn al-Qayyim. And you know, he says, and we'll quote, of course we'll quote the ayat as well. When Allah Azza wa Jal tells us about what He has prepared for us in this villa, in this huge palace, in this tent. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about the hur al-ain. And you know, how do you even begin to describe the hur al-ain? First of all, Allah Azza wa Jal created them with His own hand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them directly. Now Allah creates directly many things, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates things indirectly. Indirectly meaning, for example, like us now, we are children, we're born to a mother and father. That's still Allah's creation, but Allah creates us indirectly. But Allah Azza wa Jal has created these hur directly to like they say, the best specification, the best possible, you can't imagine. But just to give you an idea of the hur. First of all, this word hur, ain, by the way, means, hur, it means like a maiden or a fair, beautiful woman. And al-ain is the plural of a word which means wide-eyed. They have wide eyes. And one of the things, just to give you a summary of just how the hur al-ain are, that if one of them were to look over onto this world, the entire world would be filled with light. And her khimar, her headscarf, the veil that she wears over her head is better than the dunya and everything that is in it. And not just one, by the way. And one is not enough, not just one. The least of the people of Jannah will be married to 2 of the hur al-ain. But we're not interested in the least. But the least doesn't interest us. We want the most. 72 of the hur al-ain. Over 70 of the hur al-ain. Prepared for who? For the believers, for the people who kept themselves. Like we talked about, those people who وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. Those people who kept themselves chaste in this dunya, they didn't go out looking, they didn't go out seeking, they didn't go out committing haram. And Allah Azza wa Jal prepared for them the hur al-ain. These beautiful, wide-eyed virgins. And Allah Azza wa Jal mentions, إِنَّا أَنشَأْنَاهُنَّ إِنشَاءً. We have created them a direct creation, a magnificent creation. وَجَعَلْنَاهُنَّ أَبَكَارًا عُرُبًا أَتْرَابًا لِأَصْحَابِ الْيَمِينِ. We have made them into virgins, not just into virgins by the way, but Allah Azza wa Jalla, as He mentioned, لَمْ يَطْمِثْهُنَّ إِنسٌ قَبْلَهُمْ وَلَا جَانٌ. No man, no jinn has ever touched them, has ever had any intimacy with them. They have been created, each one of them, for their husband specifically. And Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions them, حُورٌ مَقْصُورَاتٌ. They don't lift their eyes up to any other man. They were made only for this one particular man who is going to be from the people of Jannah. You know, this one individual, custom tailored for this person. They do not lift their eyes up to look at anyone else. They have no desire for anyone other than that one man, that they were created by Allah Azza wa Jal for that man. And when the person goes to them in the tent, the tent is so huge that no other one will see the other. You don't have this problem of them running into each other. One of them will not see the other one because of the vastness of the dominion of this person from the people of Jannah. And not only that, but he will also be married to his wife, if he has one from the wife, or if he has more than one from the wife of this, or the wives of this dunya that he was married to. And let's not forget the ladies as well, because we shouldn't, sometimes we talk about the hur and talk about the fact that they have this amazing skin that you can see. It's like translucent. You can almost see through it. And you can imagine how that is, because you can see you can't imagine how it is, but you can understand what is meant, because you see someone who's very, very fair. If you see sort of a girl who's very, very fair, and you can almost see the veins and the coming through the skin. This woman, we talk about the hur, and then sometimes the sisters start feeling, well, what about us? And we keep saying, don't ever think evil of Allah. Don't ever think that Allah will give you less than you desire. This dunya is a dunya of competition. Alhaakum at-takathur. You're always, competing with each other. And there's competition for love, there's competition for, among co-wives, there's competition, there's a feeling of this is just, this is not sort of people competing against each other and wanting to better one another. That's the meaning of alhaakum at-takathur. You're competing against each other, who can be better. But that doesn't exist in Jannah. وَنَزَعْنَا, we've taken away from what was in their hearts, from their sudur, from their qulub. We have taken the ghil. We have taken this jealousy and this hatred and all of this horrible feeling. We've just taken it out of their hearts. So the Jannah that Allah Azza wa Jal has made for the Muslim woman is the best that could ever be made. It's not like the hur make it, it would be great if it wasn't for the hur. It's not like that. Allah Azza wa Jal has made it absolutely perfect for everyone. And yes, Allah Azza wa Jal has told the men about the hur. Why? Because men are men. And men have a temptation sometimes to have a wandering eye and have a look at what is across the road, and maybe have a look at what is on the internet, and have a look at this and have a look at that. So Allah Azza wa Jal wants to give you something that you can strive for, that is better than that is more motivating, that you want to say, no, I'm going to cover my gaze because I've got some ladies waiting for me in Jannah. So Allah Azza wa Jal knows the situation of the man, and knows what they need, and knows that this motivation is needed. But the woman, she should not feel that she is being shortchanged, because Allah Azza wa Jal, وَمَا يَظْلِمُ وَلَا يَظْلِمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا. Your Lord does not oppress anybody.